Hey guys, I'm going to post the answer key to the Regents review. I'm sure some of you have been waiting for it. I'll go through each question. If you guys have comments, please comment below on my YouTube channel, and we'll go from there. So, question one. So, let's solve for x. This was the basic equation. If we look at this, to me, the problem boils down to being able to distribute correctly. And it's distributing a negative 3 to both terms inside the parentheses, giving us negative 9x minus 12 equals 6. And when I subtract 9x from 15x, I'm left with 6x minus 12 equals 6. And from there, I get 6x equals 18. Divide by 6, divide by 6. And I get x is equal to 3. Now you'll have to bear with me as I'm going back and forth between screenshots. So I'll just take a second to load each question. And here's number 2. It says, what's the value of m in the equation? So again, you have to distribute, but this time I'm going to rewrite it as two m minus m minus 1 equals 0. So it's like I just took my negative sign and moved it in front of each term inside of the parentheses. Then I'll solve. 2m minus 1m is m minus 1 equals 0. And I'll add 1 to both sides, giving me m equals 1. And you can check your work and substitute a 1 back in. Therefore, we have 2 times 1 minus 1 plus 1 equals 0. And I do get 2 minus 2 equals 0, and it's true. Okay, again, bear with me. I'm opening the third question. And the third question is another equation, this time with 2 sets of the distributive property. We'll distribute a 3 and a negative 2. So if I do go ahead and do that, I have 3x plus 6 minus 2x minus 2 equals 8. I'll combine my x's to give me 3 minus 2 is just 1. I'll leave it as x. And 6 minus 2 is positive 4. That equals 8. I'll subtract 4 on both sides, and I get x is equal to 4. And here's the fourth question. This one required you to kind of be able to read a little bit. It says Debbie solved the linear equation, and she did it as follows. And she says, or it says rather, she made an error between which lines, if you will. So first line looks as though she did everything correctly in the sense that she just really, added 2 to both sides to get me my 18. And then in line 2, she should have distributed 3 to the x and 4, or 3 to the 4, giving us 3x plus 12 to equal 18. Now there is our mistake. So where did she make her error? Between lines 2 and 3. Question number 5 was another kind of like an equation, but this time solving an inequality. And I'm just going to rewrite it for myself as 3x plus 2 is less than or equal to, I'm going to distribute the 5 right away to both the x and the negative 4 to give me 5x minus 20. Now, when I go ahead and do that, I'm going to try to get my x's on one side. So I'll subtract 3x on both sides. And I'm left with 2 is less than or equal to 2x minus 20. And I'll add 20 to both sides to give me 22 is less than or equal to 2x. Or 2x is greater than or equal to, whoops, greater than or equal to 22. Now, if I take that line and I rewrite it, I'm not dividing by any negative, so I'll keep my inequality symbol the same. I'm left with x is greater than or equal to, and 22 over 2 is 11. And there's my answer. Question 6, we had some questions on actually in our Google Meet today. There's two things you had to take into account here. That, well, one, they're asking for the sum of these two expressions. Sum obviously means to add. Now, the second thing you got to keep in mind is you can only combine things that are alike, meaning the square terms, the m terms, and the numbers, the constants. I like to create this as two separate problems, or in this case, 3, where I am combining my m squared terms and I'm adding them. Then I'm combining my m terms and I'm adding a negative, which is the same as subtracting. And then I combine my constants. When I do that, I should be left with 3m squared. 3 minus 3 is 0. I don't have to write anything for my m term. And negative 4 minus 2 is negative 6. Should be choice 2. And lastly, question 7. Question 7 gave us some rational numbers to deal with, meaning fractions. Now, luckily for us, the fractions had like denominators. Now, I'm just going to rewrite 3/4 x plus 2 equals 5/4 x minus 6. And I'll do my best to combine my fractions as so. I'm left with 2 is equal to, well, when I combine my fractions with like denominators, I have 5/4 minus 3/4. I'll subtract 3 from 5 to get 2/4 x minus 6. Now I know 2/4 is another way to write 1/2 x minus 6. I'll take that problem, I'll rewrite it up here to give myself more room as 2 equals 1/2 x minus 6. I'll add 6 to both sides, and I get 8 equals 1/2 x. And this part is where we always struggle. You have two options. You could either divide by a half, or multiply by the reciprocal. And 8 times 2 is 16. The 1's cancel, the 2's cancel, and there I'm left with my final answer, x equals 16. I hope this was informative to you guys. Let me know, and I'll continue to do this for you. All right? Have a good day.